I would like to now invite our guest of honor, Mr. Ashwin J. Laddha, to speak. He is the MD and CEO of Orient Paper Industries. He is driving transformative journey at Orient Paper through technology, digitization for revenue growth, holds MBA in finance and marketing, over 25 years of experience leading high-performance team across Asia, Europe, and South America. And he is a member of governing board of C.K. Birla Trust Hospital, contributing to healthcare and institutions. Thank you. Laddha sahab, please come over.
Thank you. Thank you. Distinguished guests on the dais and ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for this generous introduction, Goelji. So I'm really aligned to the thoughts what you have shared in the previous two sessions. I mean, energy conservation is important, and there's no way out. It also makes good business sense. What I thought was, we know the hard aspects of business, so let us take a detour and look at what are the soft aspects of business which is relevant for us as an industry, and what can we learn and strengthen those muscles for us, right? Because, India is currently at a pivotal moment globally. If you look at the geopolitical developments, and we have a lot of tailwinds, right? But it's a fractured global dynamics. And within that, there are opportunities and there are challenges. So what does that mean to us as an industry, right? So, and we all believe that India is entering the Amrit Kal, and thus is an opportunity for us to think big and chase bigger dreams. So what is this soft aspect which I want to talk about? It's simple. It's about trust. Simple trust. And you won't believe that in the World Economic Forum this year, the big theme was reinstating trust in the global economy, because enough has been talked about, but not much has been done about it. And everyone has had their own agenda, be it different governments and be it different organizations, be it greenwashing of economies. I mean, climate change has been a big topic of discussion in the West. And now there is a big debate that there's a lot of greenwashing which has happened. There is ESG funds, as we all know. Just to give you some data, globally, the wealth which is being managed is around $65 to $70 trillion. And there was this Bloomberg report which said that close to $30 trillion is going to get reallocated in ESG funds. Can you imagine the scale and the size of money which is getting reallocated for that? But when that kind of pace is generated, beneath that, not too much of action was actually going towards the cause of climate. So this is what lead to, distrust, lack of trust globally amongst different institutions and different governments. So as an industry, we have an incredible opportunity to restore trust and, in fact, lead with trust. And I want to share a few examples some from geopolitical developments, some from industry or global companies with whom we can learn from, and what does it make, how does it make sense to us. Now look at trust as a pivot to success. The world is changing, and how? Let me highlight a few examples. So this year is an important year in the history of world, because the history of the development of the world, because there are going to be 70 elections globally, and 55% of the global population is going to vote. And the debate in the largest, or so-called the greatest democracy in US, for example, the debate is between the candidate who is a good gentleman but lost his memory. That's what the Supreme Court of US has said about the incumbent president. And the other candidate is where there is a global trust deficit, right? This is the irony of the world's largest economy, right? So there is clearly a trust deficit. US has ruled the world beginning of the 19th century onwards. And because of this foreign policy which US successfully led and implemented, but look at what is debated in the parliament there. The latest bill of 110 billion euros support to Ukraine and Israel has not been voted so far. There's a lot of cracks within US. So there is a trust deficit within US for the US foreign policy, which has led to it becoming the global superpower what it is right now. So it's real as a challenge. Amongst this is India as a shining star. I mean, we all are seeing and reading various stories, various news releases and actions from global corporations of reallocating funds to India. Now, if that's happening in India, IPTA and its member has an incredible opportunity to lead with trust, to generate trust, to build trust with the actions, because our actions to build trust are aligned to the government's agenda. Right? Like, for example, carbon neutrality. Our industry has an opportunity to have the maximum contribution per dollar spent, right? So we'll discuss about some of those examples. Now, let me give you an example from an iconic brand, Apple, right? And how trust can actually make companies so successful. So many of us in the audience would have experienced Apple products, if not in our family, or at least heard and read about Apple. You know, when Steve Jobs was at its peak, they used to launch a product, 150 plus countries, same day, different geography, different languages, different tax systems, everything seamlessly same day. How is that possible? And year after year, they used to do. Every September, they have a new product launch. Year after year, they used to do it. And Apple is amongst the most valuable company in the world, most respected. So one of the important thing there, apart from the technological marvel which they had, when it was decoded, how is it possible for a company to sustainably do that? So when Steve Jobs was at his peak, his core team, the top 20, 30 leaders or whatever were, they have worked with Steve Jobs of minimum of 10 years. So that means what? That trust was there. Right? So whatever they were thinking, everyone knew what is to be done. So they just, the whole action was so seamless and execution was seamless. So trust within our teams, trust within our organizations, and trust with the customer, because every product of theirs was a success because the customers trusted them. The customers trusted them year after year because their trust was always cemented with a better experience. And thus was an vicious positive cycle where Apple led this incredible journey. And beneath all this story and the brand which we are looking, actually consumer also look at Apple because of trust. I remember I used to be living in UK earlier and managing a global business. So I used to frequently travel to US every 40 days or, alternate month, you can say. And at the height of financial crisis in 2012, 13, was it? 8, 9. So at the height, around 2010, I used to go there, and it was a really challenging situation, right? I used to live in UK, and US was one epicenter of problem, and the other was UK. You could feel the problem, you could feel the tension. And you just walk into an Apple store, people would not ask the price. In a height of recession, they would just swipe the card. They will say, this is the mobile I want, this is the color, this is the memory, swipe the card. That is trust, right? So trust is important, and this is an example which I thought we all could relate to. Now, coming back to rebuilding trust in a fragmented world, as you rightly pointed out about the challenges of the global warming, which is real, about the rains last night, it is real, about the cold and cough we all are having, right? I mean, nowadays, very few people have normal cold and cough which gets cured in 3 or 4 days. So post-COVID, post-climate change impact, many of us have at least few weeks of, coughing and typical symptoms. This is real, and we don't realize this is about global warming as well, right? So we have this accountability, and why is this happening as an industry? If you look at paper industry, I have worked in multiple industries, and after coming into paper industry, I've just fallen in love with this industry because there is tremendous opportunity for us to take the whole ecosystem forward, right? We are an integrated mill at Orient, and typically all paper mills are situated in remote locations, isolated locations, cut off from the hustle bustles of the city. If you look at it from a positive lens, it is where the society is more underlooked, overlooked, challenged, but we are the anchor for the society there. So what we are doing in Orient, and why I thought I'll share this example with you, is it could give you some food for thought, because as you know, Orient has a glorious past of over 8 decades. We are just coming out of a rough patch in our journey so far. While getting out of this, while getting our acts together, we thought that we have an important opportunity, and a possible opportunity which makes mutual sense is to have a collaborative approach to take the community forward. So we are working in over 1,089 villages. We alone can't do it. So we are collaborating with NGOs, several NGOs, government organizations. We have set up a professional team to do that. And we are investing more than, we are every year planting close to twice the amount of trees we are going to harvest. And not only that, but because it's a collective and an exhaustive approach over 1,089 villages, which is like 12 lakh acres of land mass, there we are encouraging people, the communities, to become self-reliant on 3 broad parameters, not only economic, and not only dependent on wood harvesting, agroforestry, but also other forms of opportunity. So it's economic, spiritual, and engaging with them for education and all those factors. So this is going to cement the trust. Not only, for us as an Orient, definitely yes, but it is an example for the paper industry to replicate in their form, whoever is based wherever. Every company will have their own dynamics, but with collaboration it's possible. Alone we can't do it, but we can be the fulcrum of this change, and we are doing that, right? And that is what I want to share. We are contributing towards this carbon neutrality. We will be carbon neutral, in fact negative, before 2030 as a company, while we are growing. So this is possible. It is financially, it makes sense. It just needs an innovative approach for us to think, collaborate, and build trust. So in this opportunity, which I also see in the paper industry, our industry, what I have seen is relatively, in a catch-up mode in technological adoption. Some of the companies have been ahead of the curve, but they still can do much better. We are, for example, we are doing a massive catch-up. So we are now trying to leapfrog the technology, what we have, but that also requires trust. For example, in cement industry, a lot of things are, individual skill, expertise driven. And now we are talking we are living in the world of AI. And I was in Varanasi in the month of December, and I remember Modi ji was also there, on the same day, having an engagement with a Tamil symposium. A group of Tamil people had come there in Varanasi. Can you believe? And he was the first global leader to have an engagement with an audience of a different language using AI. He was talking in Hindi, and hundreds and thousands of audience were listening his same speech in Tamil. So if a political leader of a country of his age, of course Modi ji is an inspiration to many of us globally, if he is adopting technology with so much of passion, why can't we do it? So in our industry, there is a tremendous need for us to trust the power of technology and invest in that. It will do more good than harm. We have to come out of that shell of resistance to change, build those capabilities for our team, because we can't blame our team for that. We have to expose them for the possibilities, help them understand that with this trust, what are the possibilities. If they will have to trust the systems without having a fear of insecurity in their minds. So digitization is an incredible opportunity for our industry, and that also is going to happen only if we trust this technology. So these are my really the key thoughts which I have as an industry. How can we change? How can we be a magnet to attract top talent? How can we attract top companies to invest in technologies which are relevant for paper industries? For example, we all have technology from, say, Siemens to Andrix to Valmet to everyone. Now, these companies cater to multiple industries, right? Do they look at us as paper industry, as a sunrise industry, as an industry? See, many a times for companies, it is not about only the revenue. For example, in some industry, the revenue would be much, much higher, but can we be the test bed for leapfrogging technology, right? I mean, we have seen UPI is a classic example where globally people are coming to learn, right? And it has been so inclusive. So we also, irrespective of the size, we have to think big. We have to aim for larger goals. We have to challenge conventional wisdoms. For that, the fulcrum will be trust. Do we trust these technologies? Do we trust in the opportunity which is ahead of us as a paper industry? Do we want to lead from the front, or do we want to be laggard as an industry? I believe we have an interesting opportunity ahead of us. We have the right tailwinds. We have for example, to reduce carbon credit, one of the biggest initiative or action which can be taken by agroforestry, and agroforestry, one of the main forestry could be eucalyptus plantation. Even Government of India has launched that program. We will have to understand that there are so many things which are just falling in place for us as an industry. We just have to put these parts of the puzzle together and take it forward. So these are my thoughts. So together, let's build trust. Best wishes, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.